afternoon, YouTube. It's man over George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Body Talk, coming to you live on YouTube. Well, folks, we have one more day left in July, and I'm telling you, seeming like it's kind of funny. You think about it. 2023 just started. Now we're into the coming up to the 8th month, and why is time flying so fast now? I remember as a kid, it seemed like Christmas took forever. Birthdays, it's like it was still like a year away, but now Christmas is about around the corner, and birthdays is like every other day. I mean, So anyway, and the folks, as I said, as a content maker, I reach out to people that interest me, and I find their path in the sport of bodybuilding. Ways that people want to share and understand. This is something really like here. Recently competed at the Teen Collegiate Masters. That's in I think it's in Pittsburgh. It's one of the Gary Unit shows. Gary Unit, he is one of the top promoters in the sport of bodybuilding. He's up there with Tim Gardner and all those guys. And it's a pro qualifier. I know a couple of ladies who I follow, a couple of ladies who I've become friendly with. Most every one lady I know, she competed at a show. It was like about a couple of weeks ago. About a couple of weeks ago, yeah, it's about a couple of weeks ago.
A week ago.
Yeah, about a week ago. Time flies. You think about it. It's like a week ago. And she didn't do as well. But this lady here too. She also competed this show, and she didn't do as well as she liked. We have here NC competitor Mrs. Shannon Leister, and she's going to talk to us, explain to us what got us supported bodybuilding. So, in what's her plans for the rest of the season. So, madam, welcome. Thank you for coming. And to us, my followers, my subscribers, please share with us what got you into this sport, as we call it, muscle and masculinity. Please share.
So, I started lifting in 2009, pretty much on hey, I got to go to the gym. I got to do something. I'm getting a little bit older. I was 28 at the time. And then in 2014, I was like, this is cool. And, but I want to go further. So I actually started teaching classes. I taught body pump, body flow, CX works. I got my personal training certification, dabbled in powerlifting for a little bit. And I was like, this is cool. And about 2017, I had swore I'd never compete. I'm like, it's so expensive. It's just, I couldn't do it. I don't know if I could get up on stage. And I had a friend. He's like, you should get on stage. Just try it. Just do bikini. You might like it. So I was like, all right. There was a local show. And it was a ICN show. I compete natural. So it was about 6.5 weeks out. I was like, all right, let's do it. Let's do a bikini and see what happens. Peak week, they canceled the show because I was the only competitor in the entire show. So I was like, what do I do? Like, I just went through all this prep and didn't even get to experience it. And my coach at the time, Diane, was like, there's an NPC Baltimore Classic in 3 weeks. And I was like, do you think I'm ready for an NPC show? And she's like, 3 weeks, we'll have you ready. So prepped for that. 3 weeks later, I got on stage for my first NPC show, first show ever. I got second, third, and fifth. And I really enjoyed it. So I was like, all right, but I felt like I had too much muscle for bikini. So I had moved into figure. In 2018, I did the Big Cat, and then I did the Baltimore Classic again, and I did them in figure. And then 2019, I kind of took a little bit of a break to put some more size on. 2020 was COVID. As soon as everything cleared up, I had actually gone down to Florida and competed at First Call Outs. It was a Tim Gardner show and received first place in overall. So I thought, hey, let's see if I can do nationals. So I went back down 10 days later and did Masters Nationals for the first time. And I got last place. So, of course, you're sitting there and you're like, last. Okay, what do we do now? And so we, put a little bit of a plan. And throughout that time, I had changed coaches. And in 2021, had started with my now coach, Rod Smith, part of Alpha Zulu. And he was like, you're not figure, you're physique. And so in 2021, 3 days out from my show, the Capital Grand Prix, he said, you're doing physique. Go ahead and learn those poses. I was like, in 3 days? And he goes, in 3 days. So with the help of YouTube and luckily 3 days off of work, I learned the 5 mandatories I needed and put together a nice little routine. And of course, did well at that show. Then when we went on to Masters Nationals last year, and we had a nice close call. First place in prejudging, but I took second in finals. And then he was like, all right, wider back. So we said, okay, I got your wider back. Came back with a wider back. And unfortunately, this year just wasn't what they were looking for, and placed fourth. So now we're going to off season, kind of see where we go, where we grow, and try and get what the judges are looking for, which the same thing, wider back. So
that's what I learned from that. The back sometimes can make and break how you do at a show. I've seen some women who just like everything else, it be not as complete, but then you turn around that back, it has that density, or as they say, those muscle bellies or whatever else is just needed. Then that's one of the show. I've seen shows where women is like she's like, a little dough in the front, not enough, but then she turns her back and then it's like like the gates are open,
right.
and it just that's one of the show compared to other competitors who were great condition. Everything was on point, popping, everything. It might have been a little slight off, but not that off where this person just went back one. And that's the thing, judges do have a lot of control when it comes down how you ladies place on these shows.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's all, just time to put that work back in,
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we're not done. We are far from done. The ultimate goal, of course, is that Olympia stage, so however long it takes me to get there, I will be there.
Well, at first, ultimate goal is to get your pro card. You gotta get to Olympia stage. Right. There's still the amateur Olympia, and that's still Olympia. And you get there because that's the next step. And I know it's tough, especially for a woman, especially you're on the small size. Like she goes by the nickname Tink, and how tall are you?
Show day I was 5'1.5". Typically I'm 5'2". So
you lose an inch when you get in condition.
Yes. So that was always the biggest surprise to me. And then it kind of made sense. So what happens if you deplete down properly and you get down to that right amount of body fat where you're shredded, like I was completely shredded. You actually lose the fat off of the pads of the bottom of your feet, which causes you to shrink down. So when I competed July 1st and did the Maryland show, Maryland Championships, I was 5'2". 3 weeks later, I came in a lot more conditioned, a lot more harder, but I was down to 5'1.5". And the same person measured me both times. So, yeah. So the leaner you are, the shorter you will be on stage.
So, so if, like I said, I've been losing weight. So if I lose weight, I'm gonna be 5'5". God, no.
I just took all the motivation for everybody to lose weight ever.
Yeah, you really did, because I just, like I said, now I'm gonna be 16 and 800 pounds if I got to be. Folks, if you want to follow Miss Leister, her social media stuff in the description. You can follow her if you're interested. Also, she's a coach and a trainer. So interested in working out with her. Maybe if you not want to be a bodybuilder, you just want to get in better shape. Just follow her and check out her social media platforms. Also, she has a website if you want to follow on that. But it's for you, Shannon. No the pics. Stop it, guys. Don't do that. It is awful. I know as a lady, you don't want solicitation. You don't want that from any person. But it's the thing about bodybuilding. We break it down like this. If you look at the other divisions, like men's bodybuilding, they have a larger fan base because it's a sport in which, it's a division where most of the time get more promoters to back it, more money. You look at the, as I call them, the Twist division, that's wellness to bikini. It's more the aesthetically pleasing divisions. So those will have the larger fan base. But we look to the divisions like, most definitely, I would say, women's bodybuilding, physique, and figure, because there are more aesthetically more muscle development, and that's in those divisions compared to the others. You ladies have this little small fan base, which is us guys who are, as we call, schmoes. But one lady told me, because you're not schmoes, you're friends who like you ladies, who watch you ladies, who support you ladies. But you got the guys a little bit on the stream side, and They go, like, this is true story. And you'll find this funny. When I first started getting on social media, getting on YouTube. I mean, back then, that's when I had dial-up, and I used to go on some, these chat rooms like that. And this guy, he used to, go to the shows. Like, he used to work in sales. So what he used to do was to travel, and he scheduled his trips around when he's going to go to a show. So one day he's at a show. So okay, it's like he was like around about the finals for the women's bodybuilding division, and I think it was like the final pose down, anything like that. So he's sitting in his chair, minding his own business. Yada. He hears some commotion in the back. He said, "What's going on?" What's going on? He turned around, turned his head, and said, and it's this dude. He's getting dragged out from the back of the auditorium by security guys, pants around his ankles. He's sitting a couple of seats away from one of the coaches of the ladies that was competing at the show, and the coach said, "I don't know why. I thought they banned that guy. I don't know why he keeps coming back in here." It's just, and that's the thing is, guys can be weird about you, ladies. But the rest of us, we do love to support you. We got one guy he's a supporter here. This is my man, KL the Wonder. He was out here a while ago. We did a little live stream other. I wouldn't say I'm a friend or a schmo, just a supporter. Well, if you support, that's good, but you're still technically you're a schmo. Also, this is from man Roy says, "Hi guys, she's a muscle beauty." Oh yeah, you got a fan. You got a fan here. And this is from Curtis L. Jr. "Oh, I like you say why you do they call you Tink." Yeah, thank you. Because that's her nickname, and because you're a little small, because I made if you look on the cover of this video, you see I made her a little. I always try to make a cover for my videos, and I say, I try to find something that works good. I look at her nickname and say, you know what? Let me take this picture from here, this picture, mellow together, the little Tink, and it's cute. And I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, I love it. So
yeah.
I mean, Tink. So the story behind it is, in about 2016, I chopped all my hair off and bleached it. And everybody was like, "Oh, you look like little Tinkerbell." And so for a while, my Instagram name was Tinkerbell with muscles. And my Facebook name for a while was Tink Bell. And then eventually the Tink just never went away. And once I tried to change my name to like my real name, and somebody was like, "No, you're Tink." So it's been Tink. I think the gym I go to, Exile, they don't even have my real name on the computer. It's Tink. So I mean, there's a lot of people that don't even know my real name, and I'm like, it's all right.
That's something funny. I had my uncle who moved down here with my aunt, because you say you're from Baltimore, you live in Baltimore. My uncle and aunt used to live in Baltimore, worked there for a long time. He moved down here. We called him. He was most of my life. I called him my Uncle Sonny. When he died, I found out his real name was Henry. This is the man I know most of my life. I would say 40 years of my life, I know this man. I always call him my Uncle Sonny. And the day of his funeral, I found his real name was Henry.
That's crazy. Yeah, you never know.
See, for the country, this is how it is right here in the country, man. Sometimes you never know something. You're like, that's Junebug over there. That's big Terry over there. That's You go by and then you'll find the real name. Let's say Mama calls and said, "Terry, come here." I said, "Junebug, that's your name, Terry?" So yeah, that's my name. That's the name the Mama gave me. Here we got my man KL. He says, "You graphic designer, George, let me find out." Yeah, I just something I put together. I use PowerPoint like that. Yeah, I went to college and studied PowerPoint. So I went to college, and some dude said, "Did you graduate?" But also, my man KL says, "Tink is a cute name." Yeah, you got a fan here. This is from man Roy. He says, "Do you aspire to be like? I mean, who's your idol in bodybuilding? Who made you like? Wow, I want to look like that woman. Who's your idol in bodybuilding?" Now, that's the question. Like a lot of ladies would say, "What was it like?" I would get, especially women in the physique division. When I ask you who inspired you, and the number one person that I would hear is Dana Lynn Bailey.
Yeah.
That's
so. Dana Lynn Bailey. Grew up in Lancaster, PA. So her gym was 40 minutes from where I lived. So every other weekend I'd travel up to her gym, and I don't know if I aspired to be like her, but I was always like, I want shoulders bigger than hers. like, because she was always known for her delts, and I was like, one day I'm gonna have bigger delts than Dana Lynn Bailey. So that's kind of, I guess, the most inspirational person. But I've always just kind of, I know it's weird, but I've admired myself because I just pushed myself. I didn't really have many role models as a child growing up. Not that I had a horrible, there was nobody I wanted to be like, because I always wanted to be like myself. I went to a high school of very fake people. And I was like, I never want to be like you guys. So I just always strove to be an original person. So I don't know if I really aspired to be like anybody, but Dana Lynn Bailey was probably the closest one, and I'd met her a bunch of times in person. So probably her.
Yeah, I
She kind
think
of led the way.
Daly was she did originally she did figure like a lot of you ladies who
Right.
did physique, you did figure because back in the day when bodybuilding started, there was only originally women's bodybuilding was more like bikini early when it started out, but then it became more like figure. Then it transitioned to the Rachel Lesh era. Then it transitioned to Corey Everson, then Linda Murray, and on down. And then fitness came along because I did it this morning. I interviewed a lady who's a fitness competitor. Fitness came around. Then, because some of you ladies who didn't want to do the routine change, because when fitness started, it was more like early version of CrossFit.
Yep.
When it first started, but then it changed and it did the routines and all the more dancing and acrobatics to it. And then figure was the offset of fitness, where the girls just had to do the suits and and do the some wearing the high heels and one of my favorite comedians is Chris Rock says a daddy's job is keep his daughter out of clear heels. And I tell you the truth, from my experience, one of my jobs, I used to work in a strip club or in a booty club, you might call it. And the clear heels are used to it, but it's like when physique came in, it was supposed to be the replacement for women's bodybuilding. But if you see now, we're talking about how I asked you earlier what the judges told you about what they wanted to see when it came to for reason why you didn't get your pro card or how you didn't place as well you should have, and you told me it was your back, and if you look at it now, it's supposed to be. I know I did an interview with a lady who's a figure competitor. I did some interviews with a figure competitor. One lady is just a while back. She's an amateur. And so, the back is the one thing that they concentrate more, back and shoulders and figure. And everything else is more just, it's essential. But in physique, it's supposed to be conditioning like that. But if they push the size, that's more like bodybuilding. You think?
Right. I agree. And I've noticed that at the pro level, the girls are getting bigger and bigger. And some of them are towing that line of bodybuilding. And I'm like, when I get my pro card, I don't want to be the one that's the biggest one on stage, because that's not me. I like keeping that little bit of feminism to my muscle. I want to have the right shape muscle and the conditioning that they want, and show them that, and show the younger generation who does aspire and sits there and goes, well, I'm not that big. Like, hey, you don't have to be the biggest person on stage. Just be the most in shape, but have a shape. So, it's just trying to find that nice balance. But yeah, I mean, these girls I'm waiting for them to weight cap women's physique, because it's like, it's getting close on like who should be what.
Yeah, I know. Like, if you heard Tyler Mann, he mentioned that they're supposed to be after the Olympia for men's physique. They're supposed to be new criteria, and I talked about this. Is this gonna spill over into women's physique and women's bodybuilding? Some ladies who I follow say they like the idea, others don't. For some, it'll force the others to go up to women's bodybuilding. And some, it might force them to say, you know what, I'm going to have to go back to wearing those clear heels again. Because, there was the Pittsburgh Pro, and like I said, you're originally from Pennsylvania. Pittsburgh Pro, you competed at the Master Show, that's in Pittsburgh. You had Natalia Coelho compete at that show first this year. Natalia is supposed to be winning physique. She was a fit competitor, but if you look at her now, there's talk that she might need to go up. I just saw like one lady who I talked to who's a physique competitor. She's confirmed some information I got earlier this week that Ashley Jones is switching over to women's bodybuilding. Melissa Type just competed in Chicago in women's bodybuilding. It's about, the thing is, if you get to a point where you're developing, growing, it's one thing I'm saying you want to see in physique, and I always hear the thing about femininity, thing like that. But hey, there's still some women who in bodybuilding who are still feminine. But the fact is, it's about the transition and the development of an athlete. And when you like with you, I think if you turn pro, I think you might have to go to figure because you know what, it might be tougher if the judges are rewarding the women who are getting those muscle bellies, who look more, who even though they still have that tiny waist, but they get broader shoulders, thicker the quads. Emily Silver, who did both New York, did Pittsburgh, and did Omaha. I mean, I was talking with Lily who competed, along with her, or just about the same time as her. How he said that she sees her, how she like, she's getting those, especially if you look at her quads. You follow Emily, her quads are bigger than some women bodybuilding. I mean,
I think her quads are bigger than my whole body.
Yeah, I mean, she's still on small side, but still, she's getting those. And they say those she's getting those assertions. She's getting those abductors. That is where you can't tell if she's physique or bodybuilding. If she just get more size, that's one thing. She's not going to be a fit to like Andrea Shaw or any others, but she could be. I don't know. She might make top 5, top 3 the next Olympic, depending how Sarah Brooke and Natalia looks. We got here from a man. He's your fan, KL the Wanderer. He says, "You got your own style, so you are your own superhero, Super Tink." Yeah.
Thank you.
Also, this is from a man, Roy. He says, "Who's your favorite women's physique competitor today? Who you a fan of today? Who you like now in the sport?" I know you said Daily Betty is was you got to meet her and you got to go to a gym. Who you think you as a fan you are a fan of?
I don't know if I'm really like a fan. I have a couple people that I do like. Of course, Natalia. I mean, she's amazing. But I do like watching Sarah too because I love her posing. I love her routines. I love the way she does them. Because I write all my own routines. Rochelle Cannon, she's my best friend, so I admire the heck out of her. And I mean, just being able to see her getting back up on stage again, is awesome because like it pushes me to want to be up on stage with her. Yeah, I think that's about it because I just, like I said, I don't really fan anybody. Like, I don't fangirl people. I kind of like, I'll keep eyes on people and I'll watch people and I'll be like, that's cool. But I feel like people also come and go in the sport so much that it's almost like, the music industry right now, it's like they're one-hit wonders. Like they're here today, gone tomorrow. They get a pro card and then all of a sudden they're not. Like, I think there's probably more amateurs that I've admired or that I've been on stage with and that I think are more amazing. Amanda Snooks. I mean, I've been following her for a while and I was just as shocked she didn't get her pro card. Like,
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I was cheering for her and screaming for her in the crowd during her bodybuilding. Of course, physique, we were backstage together. But, it's just more of the amateurs I admire because a lot of us have more of that drive and that desire to want to take it to the next level. Whereas like some of the pros, they kind of start to want to have families, want to do this, want to get out of the competing. And so it's like today they're your favorite and now all of a sudden they're gone. And you're like, wait, where'd that person go? So
yeah, I did like a couple hours ago. Me and KL, we have a live streaming discussion because there was a bodybuilder competed at USA's that was yesterday. Her name is Candy Canary. Candy used to compete in the early 2000s. She came back. She took 6 in women's heavyweight in the bodybuilding division, and I remember her back in the day. Candy was just beautiful, great physique. She was in her probably about around your age range when she started competing, and in her like when you started, she was about like in her early 20s, mid to early 20s. She was a mom with 2 kids, got divorced. Maybe she got married later on, and she was at her peak. She was amazing. Didn't get a pro card. She stepped away because she was also a pastor. She was doing missionary work. She got married. Then some stuff happened, and then boom, boom, boom. But she came back after having competed almost 15 years. You were at the same. You were at the same with Carmen Brady, who I remember back in the day in the 90s. Everybody remember her as that girlfriend, that guy from the Napoleon Dynamite. But I remember Carmen Brady back in the 90s and early 2000s. She's back now. I think she's in her. Gotta be close to her 60s now, and to earn a pro card, there's a couple ladies who I've seen follow who took a step back. I remember your girl Rochelle when she was competing back in the day as a bodybuilder, and she stepped away. I do a thing called comparison videos, and I'll probably say it to you later. I did comparison with her and a lady I used to be a big fan of, Denise Massino, and I call it flex and sex appeal, and it's something. I'll send it to you later. You check it out. You can send it to her. She might like it. I don't know, but it's just these women who find their spots, and it's a hard thing about bodybuilding. It's people got to understand it's a mentally, physically, financially, emotionally draining sport. I did an interview with a young lady. Her name is Hannah. She's competed at the USA. She competed at junior nationals, and she's going through a lot. She's in her 25, young lady, and it's tough. And you are a much older woman, much mature woman, and it's not just as tough as on you as it's on someone who's younger.
Yes, I actually know Hannah through Instagram and stuff, and I talked to her, and I mean, I was kind of shocked she had gotten the placing she had gotten to, because I thought she looked phenomenal. She had that conditioning, like her hams and glutes, and it's just, again, you never know what they're looking for when you're up there. One year it's this, the next year it's that. It's that gray, how they're feeling that day, how you're coming on stage. It's just all emotionally draining, but at the same time I love it. And it's like the best part of my life right now. So
it's like the Peace Corps. It's a tough job you ever love, but
right.
It's a love-hate situation. We got a man here, Roy. He's saying this. He says she is right. They need to put a weight cap in physique. There's no difference between Natalia and Angela Yo. And also, he's saying this shit. He's saying Emily has potential to beat your girl. Hell no. And my girl is Andrea Shaw. I mean, I used to have a partner. We used to do live stream together, Let's Talk Mondays. He was at New York this a couple months ago. He got to meet Andrea, and and I did interview a lady, Renee Reef, who's a friend with Andrea. I'm getting close. I even saw her. I went to my first Bible show in Savannah in September. She was there guest posing. Saw her live and in person. I wish I could have saw her out, but I did get to. One thing I get to do this. I get to meet ladies. Like when I started this thing, was it about a few years ago? I was just doing content, talking about stuff, because the fact was I was taking care of my mom. She was sick, and she passed away like 3 years ago, and I was taking care of her. And then I needed something to help with dealing with her stuff and dealing with my stuff. And I started making videos and stuff like that. And then after I started reaching out for interviews, and I enjoy what I do, because like I said, like I like to reach out to ladies like you, who I will say you have your boots on the ground, 10 toes down. You're still in the trenches. You're still fighting, trying to climb up the step with the big dogs. And I know guys who follow my social media say like, "Oh, we're gonna talk to this girl. We're gonna talk to this girl." I would love to talk to someone like Andrea Shaw, Mela Ash, or Natty Quill, Sarah Vilgas, or Missy Trescott, or whoever. But I love talking to people like you who are here, who had the time. Because you know what, you could have said no to my request. But you know what? When you say yes, I say, you know what? It fills my heart that I get to share, and talk with you ladies. Because I really enjoy it. Because like I said, I am a fan, I am a smo, and I really support you ladies. I'm all three. And also this other guy too, because he says, "Where's the other guy? He's disappeared." I usually have an other guy, but he's not here this time. He took a day off. So next time, maybe I'm sorry, other guy. We know who he is. So we're gonna jump over here to her social media real quick and look at some stuff, some pictures and stuff. I saw this here, and this was, some nice pictures here. This is here at your birthday party.
Yes, that was my 40th birthday.
Yeah, God, it seemed like 40 was forever for me. You eating cake. Yeah, you're sitting there, you're sitting there, you drop it low, you're having a good time.
Oh, yeah.
Who's the gentleman right there? That's your dad?
That's my dad.
I know, you love your dad, it's good, And here's some pictures here, and you got your hair, you got the, a little, not as blonde as it usually is, but, like, we'll go here, and there's your little doggies.
Oh, yeah. My little babies. They can be bad sometimes, but they are my everything.
Yeah, I think a lot of people bodybuilders have dogs or get cats. It's and this is your team. I recognize Rachel here in the corner, and who's everybody else here? There's your dad, and
Elise, and Bernie. They're also part of our team. Bundy, Jeff Chiffon, Rochelle.
Yeah, it's good to have that friendship with IFB Pro. Also, we're gonna go here is It's like look, like you look like you're almost a diet face.
Yeah. I think I was just coming off of a prep in that picture.
Oh yeah. I know
Like
that.
still filling out, but
Yeah, that prep thing. There goes your girl, Rochelle. You know, how long y'all two know each other?
3 years, almost 3 years now.
Yeah,
So, and just instant best friends. So,
that's good because you know what I think it's easy to bond with somebody who shares common interests as you do. It is with somebody outside of the sport. I've talked to some ladies like sometimes they lost friendships because they got into bodybuilding. You know, and this was the last year's at the you know, you were prepping for the last year's team
national.
collegiate.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
You were double dipping too, wasn't you? Doing physique and
no, that one I had just done physique.
uh-huh.
So,
Yeah. You got a nice physique, you know, on the lean side, a little smaller time, you know, growing, developing. It takes time. People gotta understand that when you try to build yourself, your body, it takes time. You know, getting shredded, you're getting those adductors, you're getting, you know, you really want to come with a good presentation. And people don't forget that when your ladies are at this point of in prep and we get ready for a show, you're at your weakest because you know you're
yeah.
draining your body, you know you're pushing out fluids because you want to have you come out with more muscle development. And this was a show in Maryland, the NPC show. You won that show,
Yes.
and that was like right before the show.
Yes, that was July 1st.
Got the music, yeah. And you got the, you know, that's the lady takes third.
Yeah.
And there was between you and this lady here.
Right. And they had us posing. They had us battling it out. So
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun though.
yeah. One thing we love is that the final pose down y'all ladies do because y'all pump your muscles, you get excited. Yeah, like there's an old saying: when you ladies rock hard, we'll rock hard. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, you put in the work, you put in time, you deserve this. You know, and maybe eventually, like I said again, you'll get your pro card. You know, but like I said, it's about time and process. You know, who's the lady's parents? Is that Rochelle too?
That's Michelle. Yep.
Oh wow, I don't know. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Nice.
No, that show. He actually told me the Monday before the show that I was doing that show.
Uh-huh.
So he's like, "Hey, you're gonna compete on Saturday."
And that's your coach?
No, that's one of my good friends, Chad.
All right. That's good that you
at
have your
DMC.
friends and this is your team and everybody standing with you. Yeah. And this is one I saw you. This is one of your clients here.
No, that is one of my other best friends, Marquette. She'll be competing in 2 weeks at the Lancaster show,
All right.
the Nikki Pelosi show.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. You know, we should. There's nice pictures here from the back shot. And it said they want your back to be wider. You know, your back looks pretty good. Your opponent's back looks good too. Both of you have great backs.
Yes. So, back day is my favorite day.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. So.
That's the question you're gonna ask. We actually had a question. And here's just some pictures from the team class this last week.
Correct.
And you got some people that like this. Michelle Britt. Oh, she says you're amazing. You know, I follow Michelle Britt. I actually saw her compete at Savannah last year. You know, she's one of the last true female bodybuilders left in the sport.
Yes. She'll be doing the Masters Olympia.
Yeah, I know. You know, and I hope I wish the best of luck. You know, I think she said she was friends with Lady I did interview a while back, the great late Rhonda Lee Charisma. We were real good friends. I love Rhonda Lee. She passed away about a couple years ago. You know, she's a good friend of hers. She even helped Michelle train for Chicago back in 2021, I believe. You know, this is a post-show week, and this is, you know,
a year apart.
Yeah, a year apart. You know,
1 year
really,
apart.
you really see it's your shoulders, also your quads. You know, more definition, more size. You know, you look at you're a little shorter, maybe just to have the picture set, but you know, it's really a big change. You see how much size you get in your quads compared to from last year to this year. You know, more definition in your shoulders and and also in your back. You're a lot more shredded, more serrations in your right here in your tricep. You can see that. You can see the detail, and you got that diet face.
Oh yeah.
And your back look a lot better. But you say that the judges want more back, probably more lat development, more sizing around your traps and your adductors. It's all those terminologies. And we got a picture of her training right here. We're just enjoying the view. What's the question I want to ask? What's your favorite workout, least favorite workout?
Um, hmm. My least favorite workout is probably those right there. RDLs, just because it's usually done after back day, and so my back's already sore from the day before, and so I'm like halfway through them, I'm like I'm ready to just stop doing these, but of course I know that that's not what you do, so I keep pushing through them. My favorite probably has become pull-ups. Just because I've gotten a lot better at them because we do so many of them. Um, and it's I just love going up and grabbing the pull-up bar, and then everybody's like, she's doing all this. Especially like when during the wintertime when it's cold and I have a hoodie on, so you have no clue what's underneath, and I'm just like grabbing the bar, doing like a whole bunch of pull-ups just to get warmed up, and people are just like, "Dude, that's awesome!" And I'm like, "Thanks."
Yeah, you just try to get you try to get some blood running to your veins, a little warmth.
Right,
You're not there to show off. You just try to get
right.
so.
Yeah, I'm like
I used to work in
shivering.
cold. I used to work in cold storage, and I tell you, that's sometimes you get home, you're like, my mom used to one time my mom took and put a nice one of those heating pads in my bed, and I just went to sleep like a baby. I mean, my mommy, I love my mommy. She is. This is a man, KL. He says, yeah, she's a good sport. Yeah, good sport. Also, he says, Tink, the other guy is a Joker wannabe. Yes, I know, because I forgot to set him up because I don't know what happened. I was doing. I think what it is, I was using my other computer for the live stream, and I forgot to switch over and check it. But yeah, that's all right. The other guy, I can find other ways to bring the other guy in. And here also, this is from my. A lot of female bodybuilders have pets for kids. Yeah, I never had pets for kids. I never had kids. Also, she looks nice in that dress. He loves the dress.
Oh,
And
thank you.
also, this is from Roy. He says, you have great arms. Wanted to ask, do you have ambition of being Miss Olympia someday? Because you need to dream first to make it happen. And she said it. She wants to go to the Olympia, but she has to first become a pro. She can go to Olympia, the amateur Olympia, but she wants to sit with the big dogs. And as we talk about, I talk about this quite often. I talk about this on my channel, how the lines are blurring between the divisions. As you were saying, how now, if you look at now, you go from what Daley Bailey, from Julia McCarr to Shanique Grant to Sarah Vigors and to Natalia Cuejo. And then, like I said, we saw earlier how people like Miss Melissa Pike and Ashley Jones and so other ladies from the physique division are going up. And you see the figure girls. If like you look at someone like Jessica Medeiros Reyes, you look at Lola Montez, even look at in physique, some fitness capacity, most definitely you look at Missy Trescott, how the lines are blurring. And and some divisions are now more transition divisions. Like, okay, some girls start bikini, but then because they have so much muscle development, they go up to figure. And then they have too much muscle development, too much mass, so they had to go to physique. And then when they get to that point where they really started getting, more developed, they had to go up to bodybuilding. You also have as I call them, the TNA divisions. The A division is wellness, and some women kind of going sideways. Some women dropping down muscle mass and bringing on the size in their quads, and it's a lot harder if you don't have. As a friend told me, those Afro aesthetics, those Afro genetics, where you can have the thicker thighs, the wider waist. Do you feel like you're more physique than you are when you wear figure?
I do. Just because of the background that I have from teaching body pump and stuff, I've always had that like well-rounded, everything. I worked every body part evenly. So it was like when I did figure for a little bit and they were like, "Oh yeah, you're not doing chest anymore." I'm like, "What do you mean I'm not doing a chest?" Like I enjoy chest day. And so I always felt like I had more of that, well-rounded physique where it was like everything fit together. Whereas, when you get to figure, it's like boom, boom, like I also I don't fill out well. I'm a very hard person to fill out when you get to showtime because carbs bloat me. And so when we would always try to fill me up with carbs to get my muscle bellies fuller, my belly got fuller, and my muscles were just kind of like, hey, we're still really conditioned. So that was another reason we kind of got away from the whole figure thing, is just because it's more of that fuller look, that I have a harder time pulling off.
Yeah, and that's it's like you're kind of like on the smaller, leaner side, and you have to find what best fits for you. Like I said, people got to understand that not everybody, basically like this. No, everybody wants to be a bodybuilder. Everybody, because I know guys like you say, I know how guys ask someone and say, "Hey, you want to be a bodybuilder?" I say, "Nah," because like I said, you want to see how that level of muscle and femininity. And also, if it doesn't fit your genetics to put on that size, because one thing is the process of bodybuilding and building the body is put on size, eating food. You just can't eat just anything. I know, some people say, hey, I can just go grocery store and get this. No, you have to follow. People got to understand. You have to follow a diet, a plan, consistency. It's not as easy. I keep saying this to people. It doesn't take a magic pill. You don't take certain things like supplements, steroids, this or that. It takes more than that. It's people always put that foot in your bodybuilder because you're on steroids using that. But there's more use of performance enhancers, PEDs, steroids in other sports, mainstream sports, than it is in bodybuilding. But it's a factor, but not a large factor of the sport.
Yeah, you definitely need to put the hard work in. And anybody around here, they're like, I've never seen somebody work as hard as you do. Because my full-time job, I work with the police department, and I'm a detective. And
12?
I'm
12?
I am.
This is the second time this year. I just did an interview with a while back. Natalie Thompson. She lives in Canada. She's a police officer. She used to be a nurse. She's a police officer. Now, this is 12. Yeah. I'm in 5-0. I mean, what? But like I said, I learned that a lot of ladies have different jobs. Some women, like I did an interview with a lady who's a bikini competitor. She's a doctor, an MD, an actual doctor. Good enough ladies have done interviews are nurses. Some do other jobs, work in corporate. But I remember, one of the greatest bodybuilders of all time is Mr. Ronnie Coleman, 8-time Mr. Olympia. He was a cop. His girlfriend, one of my favorite bodybuilders, Miss Vicky Gates, she was a police officer. There was a lady by the name of Andrew Harris White. She was a cop. There's a lot of these, but folks, I better be careful. No snitches out here. No, she. I know she's another state, but you never know. You gotta be careful. You're going to Baltimore, especially after Freddie Gray. You gotta be careful. But this is from a man here. Roy says, "You have an amazing back. I want a back like that. Tell me what you got to do to back. Well, do pull-ups for one thing, and also." This is from KL the Wanderer. What music you want to work out to? You work out to. Well, go finish the rest of your story, and then you get back to the music part. But how did you become the man? That's what's the
yeah, I've been here. I came here in 2018 and stayed, and now I'm a detective, and I love my job. I work in child abuse. So I love helping kids. We are the one aspect of policing everybody still actually wants to help us, and appreciates us being around, unless they are the suspect and they don't like us so much. But yes, I just one day got sick of what I was doing, and I was working in healthcare, and I said, I'm done with this, and said, let me go try this. I was a correction officer for over a year, and then came to the police department.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because one of the first shows I used to love to watch was Law and Order SUV. I used to love to watch that show. I actually loved the Stabler and Benson's years. After a while, when he left and he came back, whatever, it wasn't the same after that. Didn't watch as much. But people gotta understand, when you're working in sex crime, it's tough because I've heard stories where some cops says they rather work in homicide than sex crimes because it's hard to deal with someone who is a victim of abuse, especially women and children. And people forget also men can be abused too. Not just but it's hard because the emotional damage that happens because of it. There's a lady, if everybody knows her, you follow my channel, we do not speak her name because we're not a fan of hers. She was involved in a situation with her own child, and I know you heard of her, And she even one time she made comments on I made a post about her. She made a comment. I reached out to her and said, hey, you want to come on? You can talk to your side. No. She's somewhere in Dubai now, hiding out, rubbing out Arabs, whatever. But you know what? It's tough. And, we do appreciate those people that work there. I know the other parts, like, the other criminal part of the job. But the fact is, people may not like the police and the stuff that happened back in 2021 and over the years, especially in my community. We don't have a good history of police. But we understand that it's a necessary, I was going to say, truthfully, a necessary evil. We need it because there's things out there. There's not very good people. People take advantage of you, and we got to remember that. But it's up to us as citizens to let the police know that, let you know that what we think. And it's also up to you to recognize and respect our rights as citizens. We don't do things just because we want to. We do because it's just to protect ourselves. But respect what you do. We will pick on you. I recall you saying but if you put rope on me, I mean, hey, officer Leister, you can pat me down a little bit, get a little feeling, but like I said, it's a tough job. And I respect for you for that, and appreciate that. I remember I talked to Natalie. She told me her father told me, if you want to have a career or something, either in the medical field because you worked in that for a while, or in law enforcement, or you could be a lawyer. People hate lawyers, but hey, when you get busted here, you always want them. Right. Okay, we got here my man Roy saying, no shade on your girl, George. Yeah, he's throwing shade. Shut up. You want to ask Mr. Tink, can you tell a few names who have a short shot at Andrea? No, don't put her on the spot. Shut up.
I'm not answering that.
No, don't put her on the spot. This is what I want to tell people like this. I understand everybody. I was talking with my man KL and some other people. Some people get tired because they get tired of the same person winning. It happened when Linda was competing. It happened when I was competing. It was happening when Julie McCarr was competing. People get tired of the same person. But if you are a fan, you like that person, yes, you got to support them. And it's tough because if you don't come like I hear people, this girl. I love Andrea Shaw. Not just that she is a beautiful woman, but she is a great athlete. And she's a great humanitarian too. She's doing some good stuff for bodybuilding too. It's going to be tough. And even if you come in your best condition, if you're not better than her, you're not going to beat her. So Roy, wherever you keep repeating this for yourself, like noses, everybody has one. So
you never know what's going to happen show day.
Yeah.
That's what I always say.
Tink, when was the last time you saw a homicide? She don't do homicides. She does. She works in sex crimes, not homicides. So she whatever. And also, this is from John Doe. Thank you for your service. And we for people that work in law enforcement, medical industry, yes, thank you for your service. For military, I say to them, because I had my niece and my nephew were both in the Army, I say, thank you for sacrifices for this country, because they actually go out, nothing you don't do anything, but they actually go face enemies that's worldwide. But we think, like we say to you as a police officer, thank you for your service. To the military, thank you for the sacrifice you made for this country. No, not thank you. We as citizens appreciate the sacrifice you have made for your country. I'm gonna say thank you because I remember I heard somebody say, somebody's ex-official said, you're tired of the word thank you, but they say we said this. We appreciate the sacrifice you have made for this country. That's what we're going to see. You should say, anytime you see somebody who's in a veteran like that, say that. Don't say thank you because sometimes you get tired of thank you, but just appreciate. Also, my man KL, he says, I don't always like to watch SVU because of the rape victims. Well, that's the factor of what happens in crimes, but you do feel sad about it, especially when it's children. I think that I grew up in a family. There was 6 of us kids. Also I have nephews, great nieces and nephews, and I love children. I don't have children of my own, but I love children. I hate to see children hurt. I even watch those commercials. You ever see the commercials for what they do for Watch It Die? The little girl says, you can't play with children because you have cancer. And you see the little baby say, oh, little baby, you shouldn't have cancer. You want to take a baby. No, it's not fair to the little baby. Also, we got here, Panther 70 says, Tink, what is your go-to cheat meal after competition? That's like that's what I want to ask you. Like after that last show, what did you want it? What did you?
So there was a restaurant in Pittsburgh. So if you're ever in Pittsburgh, Coughlin's Law, it overlooks the city of Pittsburgh. It's beautiful. The food is amazing. They had crab rangoon nachos, and like I had been looking at pictures of them for weeks leading up to the show, and they did not disappoint at all. And then I had a Chipotle peach bacon burger, and that thing did not stand a chance. It was so good. Everything we had there was good. And then I ate half of a flatbread too. So I was a little hungry after the show. But burger and fries, always my go-to cheat meal. So, or pancakes. I love pancakes. IHOP. Every time I compete the next morning, I go to IHOP.
Yeah. Well, I have been at IHOP a long time. I used to work at my old job. I used to work process plant. Sometimes I came through, especially I got off work from work, and I stopped by the IHOP and get myself a little something because especially you get off work after a long night. Or when I used to work in strip club, it was the Waffle House. You go especially the Waffle House. You get the I think you love those. I think the waffle, and you get yourself a sausage and those. I might get the hash browns with the chili. I mean, and people got to remember that also. Food can be both a tool and a weapon. And what's your favorite food? What's that? You be like, after that show, you be craving. What was that thing you craved the most?
Honestly, the past 2 years, it's been a cheesesteak wrap. So with onions, peppers, mushrooms, barbecue sauce, a little bit of hot sauce on there, and then just wrap it up inside of the bread so you don't get full as fast. And things like perfect. So I actually had one of those yesterday here at work, and some French fries with it, and I was so happy, so full, so happy.
Oh yeah, I mean, ooh. I don't need, like I said, I'm diabetic. I don't need too much of it. I try not to eat too much of this, but every now and then, I don't eat I do try to eat a little healthier now since I'm getting older. And its thing is like you just have that taste for something. Sometimes you get tired of eating broccoli and tired of eating chicken or fish. You want something with some grease, some oil, a little fat to a little salty. You're making me sorry right now. It's been off the time for me for lunchtime. But yeah, that's the thing about the process, that your diet, and we talk about your exercises, and and when your coach put you on your diet, was you like, what's the plan that he works on for you when are you dieting?
It's been different every year. I think this year we definitely had the best plan. We had cut carbs out a lot sooner this year and went more on the keto side of it, which for my body and how I react to things, it worked out. It helped me keep some of my muscle that we tend to lose over my prep. So while at first it was hard not having the carbs and I was just like in a fog, it was nice because by the time I hit the show, I wasn't in that like complete prep brain. Like my body was back to functioning normal because I had some fats to keep me going through it. But I had missed chicken. I didn't have any chicken or beef or anything for 8 weeks. So it was a tough diet, and we didn't do any refeeds this year. We really were trying to hone in on that conditioning part of it. So I think for that, we got it down right this year. Just got to get that size. So now we're reversing out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So no chicken, no beef for 8 weeks. What were you eating?
Fish, egg whites, protein shakes, broccoli.
I eat broccoli. I eat cauliflower, carrots. I don't eat fish. Yeah.
I'm particular about my fishes. So, I'll do a little bit of flounder, barramundi. You can find it at BJ's. It's actually pretty good, like buttery flavored white fish. So that was one in mahi. I did a lot of mahi too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean that's the tough thing about the temptation, like especially when you're on the low carb part, because sometimes carbs does help it, and that fat does help because especially you're getting lean, and you like a nice little piece of fat, little juice to it, but that's the process. It's the sacrifice you make if you want to get to the next level. You want to be stomping on the big dogs with at the Olympia. You have to make that sacrifice. This is my man. KL, he's a hater. He says like this. He says, Andrew Shaw is the Michael Jackson. No, I like Michael, but I'm a little bit more of a Prince fan. Prince was very talented. Prince could play music, write songs, play instruments. Michael, I love Michael. I ain't care no shit on Michael. Michael was pretty talented, but Michael did any of his own stuff. He had other people write for him, but that's the thing. And also, this is from Roy says, "Oh my God, rape victims, KL, American Wild, philanthropists, pedophiles, so normalized in the U.S. The dark web is wild in the U.S. She definitely knows what I'm talking about. Dark web is just dangerous. Yeah, because he lives in India, and but still, every part of the world, there's always some crazy stuff out there, and it's good what you're doing. We respect, we appreciate it. Also, this is from Man K says she ain't juicing hard enough. Her voice hasn't changed a cent. Yeah, that's the thing is people. We talk about the steroid thing. I know that's one factor that happens when you take certain supplements because you want a better body. Because I know some ladies who do natural bodybuilding, and that's a big difference from the NPC IFB level stuff because it's mostly just training and dieting. You don't take certain supplements. And it does kind of change aspects of, especially women. This is something you're doing like. Women, you're supposed to be soft and round and whatever like that, not hard. Some guys do like y'all hard, but because that's what get them. So, but it's just that's the understanding. That's one of the things that goes with when you want to compete in the next level. It's not a trade-off you really want, but it just happens.
No, I agree. I just don't ever want to lose my feminism. Like, I like this off. I already have people that have asked me, like, hey, are you a tranny? Are you a male? Like, some guy commented on one of my pictures, you don't have any breasts. You must be a tranny. And I'm like, you're not even worth a breath right now. Like, so I usually just block, delete, move on. Like, because these people, I've had people on dating websites swipe right just to ask me if I'm a man. Usually I tell them if they lift weights, they would look like one too.
I love that. That's a good one because you know what, people, this is what the thing is. It's the guys who have titties that are talking about you when you don't have. You got to remember, think about it. You got to remember something. Women breasts is fat tissue,
Right.
and we do certain workouts, especially cross cables. You're doing chest workouts. It takes fat to make muscle, right. And what's happening is that your body is consuming that fat to build that muscle. If you want, like, I remember I saw a picture of one woman. I was talking to one lady. I asked her, so you guys, she's thinking about getting a boob job. See, you sure you need a boob job? I said, yeah. So you sure? Because she said she was off season. And sure, your breasts will come back if you don't. You take that time off, you let them come back because it just takes time. But some women do get the boob job. I'm not a big fan of too much of them. I mean, if you do it moderately and smartly, where it doesn't take you like away too much from your physique, it's great. But also, one thing, you have tattoos. I'm not a big fan of tattoos. I think they do aspects of it, especially in certain parts like your back, your shoulders, or something like that. It does take away from the muscle. I know I did interview with a lady. She said that she gets tattoos. She makes sure they're not in the way where they take away from what the muscle looks like. Because sometimes the judges will judge how, like, okay, we're looking at her shoulder. She has this big, she has this arm tat, or she has a big giant tat. I mean, it's just they try to curve to see the detail of the muscle, but then if it's too much color, too much ink, it does kind of hurt some competitors.
Yeah, I'm been very careful about, because a lot of my tattoos I got not when I wasn't as, I guess, say, serious as competing. Since then I've kind of calmed down on the tattoos I've been getting. I obviously have like unfinished sleeves. But yeah, no, I mean, I've made sure to keep them off my legs. I make sure to keep them off my back. I'm leaving my other shoulder bare because I don't want to have to cover up that delt. That's always the delt I use for my side chest, my side tricep. So, and I just know, just from watching live streams, they'll say, oh, they might have it, but their tattoos are messing up the striations. So I've always kind of tried to keep that part of it in mind too, that there are definitely certain areas to make sure I don't tattoo.
Mm-hmm. Well, we are here for my man KL. He's always picking on me. He says, George, you shouldn't think about no IHOP, brother. Forget you. Also, He says to you, Shannon, he says, stop seducing him with food, Shannon. He was seducing me. We're talking about food because you got to remember, and KO, he's understanding. He's a fan, but not he doesn't follow the sport. I'm a fan, but also I follow the sport. Honestly, food is that necessary evil in the sport. It's important for growth and developing. It's a process. You can't build muscle without food, and it's between the foods you use. You just can't eat anything. You just can't eat. I was telling one lady, she said she was eating gelatos, and that's not something you use when you're training and prepping. You have to follow the guidelines. When you're training, sit down and say, okay, we're gonna go this, we go that, go that. That's what the guidelines get set for. And what's your trainer's name again?
Rod Smith.
All right. And how long he's been in the business?
Oh my goodness.
See, that's something you need to know. You got to get with.
Really long. I mean, he's been around for a long time. So I mean, he's old bodybuilder, older body.
Older,
back
yeah.
in the I mean, he was back in the day bodybuilding and competing. So and he's just so knowledgeable. But I mean, he's been in the industry for I don't even know.
Forever, everybody's gonna say.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, KS says this says George, be a vegan, George. Hell no.
No.
Forget that. Nah,
No.
I'm a black man for the South. I grew up eating meat. I know some people go vegan or vegetarian, whatever, but I can't do it. I can't just I remember this old Jerry Clower. He was an old comedian back in the day. He was a country comedian saying I never been so poor where I had to eat an ass potato for breakfast. And that's but yeah, I understand what he's talking about. But it is a healthy choice. But it's not a choice I'm ready to do yet. Also, this is from KL. George, don't eat no fish. Really? No. I used to eat fish when I was younger, but never. It's just never been a thing. Also, this is from Panther 7. Has there been a competition where you felt cheated out of a win? And you like we talked about earlier about the whole thing at the Teen Collegiate show, how you felt like you felt like you were there. You felt like okay, and there's a lot of ladies who are getting their pro cards that show, especially women physique, because there's more competitors in your division compared to women's bodybuilding. I even suggest to some women, like if you're gonna do, I know it costs. We talk about it like so it costs to be a bodybuilder. I would suggest someone who do physique and you have those good guidelines, like you did, study all the poses, because you might compete in one division, not get your pro card. You can jump over to another division and get your pro card there. And you don't have to compete in that division as a pro. You can switch up. Lady I talked with Marika yesterday. She earned a pro card in women's bodybuilding. She competes in physique now. She was at Atlanta along with Rochelle, where she was number 2 behind Amy. And Rochelle was competing in the open class, and also she competing in the masters class. And she finally get her pictures. I mean, your pictures, the pictures from the teen show was out before the pictures for the Atlanta. I think Atlanta came out the week of the I believe of the Teen Collegiate show. And I know some ladies I'm friends with. Every so often I go like, here, I found your pictures. I send them to them because one day you do this, they send you the pictures from the show, but the websites will post the pictures like NPC News Online. What you used to do, you used to download them, but some women would download them for free. They protect them, so all you can do is screenshot. Come on, guys, that's easy. But when she competed, what was her? She competed for a long time. What was Rochelle's mind? How she felt?
She kind of did it as a warm-up show because she's not done for the season yet. She'll be doing the Pittsburgh Masters show in 3 weeks, 4 weeks.
I think it's about a little bit before
September 3rd. So
I think it might be like right after the North Americans, I believe.
Yep, it's that Sunday. So, but she was like happy and surprised how she placed. I think she was just trying to get her feet back wet again in that show. I think she feels a lot more positive going into the next show. And I try to stay in contact with her almost every day, every other day, making sure, hey, how you feeling? What's going on? And kind of, because when you're in prep, your mind's everywhere, like everywhere from I'm not going to the bathroom enough, I'm not sleeping enough, I'm not drinking enough water, I have this stress and I have this stress, and you start to freak out, and then you're like, am I lean enough? Am I too lean? Am I too small? And so I usually just try to sit down and hey, where's your head at? How are you doing? Okay, remember this part, remember that, don't forget, like, this happens because of this, and usually it helps kind of keep her balanced. Hopefully. She tells me it does, so I hope it does. But I think she's going to do really well. I mean, she got third in Atlanta, so I definitely see her at least in the top three, for Pittsburgh, because she's just continued on with her prep, and she's been doing great with her prep, and I'm proud of her. Like, I love just watching her, continue on with it.
Yeah, I mean, it's good because she hadn't competed for a good while. I know this like I said, well, one lady who competed that show or the pro card was, like I said, Carmen Brady, who competed as an amateur for a long time, finally got a pro card. Just at the USA's Katie Canary, who competed back in 2000, came back. A lot of ladies step away for personal reasons, really maybe to take time off to really to grow or even start a family. I know a lady who I interview, I'm really still cool with her, Melanie Horton. She competed in the 90s. She stepped away, got married, had 2 kids. Her kids are now going to college. She came back around about when it still had Winning Physique at the Honor Classic, and it's a good. And people got to understand that once is even as an amateur, it's not a very lucrative, and it's not a very, it's a very expensive sport.
Yeah.
Because you got to count in everything from your coaches, your pay your coaches, your travel, this, that, hair, makeup, posing suits. The posing suits are going to cost you like $1,000, depending, and then, a lot of stuff. And like I say, with the men's divisions, they got to put a pair of boy shorts and a banana hammock. That's about it. It's a tan one. But
and you said suits are like $40. I'm like, that must be nice.
Yeah, that's nice. I know some ladies tell me what they do. Like they might rent suits. Some people don't feel comfortable do it. Some people might have just a couple of suits. They make them because it said it's not cheap. If bodybuilding was a little bit more lucrative sport, and especially you're an amateur, you'll really start seeing any kind unless you win a show. And when you win a show with amateurs, you're just winning qualification for a national show or winning your pro card. And then you get the pro level, you want to start making money. But then if you do a show and you get like $3,000-$5,000, when you look over the guys they're walking away with $30,000 or $40,000, that's not fair. I'm not saying that you ladies should get that much, but at least I would say make the prize money at least $15,000. Like Sherry Vickers doing, she's putting money for Texas Pro. That's $15,000. And you think about that. That does help. And I know a lot of ladies say you don't do this sport for the money, you do it for the joy of it, the passion for it. But it doesn't hurt to have a little something in your pocket. And I know some women, what they do, and this is true, this is like they do, as I call them, the beat the meat websites. That's what they are. Because who's looking at them? They do those, like OnlyFans, her biceps. They do the photo sessions because it's a way to make money in between the shows. And and it's just you have a job where you can't do too much of that stuff because especially you're dealing in sex crimes and I don't know, you might get a peeping Tom saying, "I saw a picture of Officer Leister." You gotta be careful what you do and what you put out there.
Yep, absolutely. So I mean, that's why, like I said, I've been a trainer since 2014, so I still have clients I take on. My posing clients have been growing more and more, so I've been starting to work with some men as well. I have a men's physique guy I've been working with and a classic guy. So, I find different ways to make a little extra money, but I mean, I also work a lot of overtime. I probably work 65-hour weeks. So plus train, plus prep. Oh yeah, we got this.
And see, that's look, thing, you don't have no kids or a man, it's just you.
It's just me and the dogs.
For those who have come friends with, who have kids, have husbands, they have full-time jobs, that's tough. And you got to find a way to find the time. There's times where you have kids, they don't eat what you want to eat. You got to eat what you got to eat. There's time you say, "Hey, honey, is dinner on the table? I'm coming home." But it's just all you got is your fur babies. All they care about is as long as you feed them and water them. That's all they care about. Yeah. But yeah, I think if this sport was more lucrative, which is this is money made of it. But if they can really this thing like this, it's the athletes we come to see. We come see y'all. And I think, if anything, the big boys, the guys, the Manions, the Tim Gardners, these other promoters. I know the sponsors put money in because they put the money because of the men. Because you're a cop, the pimping game. The men's are the bottom bitch. They're the ones that bring in the money. And the women, we come see you too. They're like, they kicked that women's bodybuilding physique figure out of the Arnold. I was a big fan of Arnold, but ever since I started doing good content, I learned some stuff about it. I already know about the thing his son, rather than also that. But and I heard people. A friend told me how he said, "Screw your freedoms." But that's what we was talking about. But he should word a little better. It was during the pandemic, because when something like this happened, like a pandemic and wars, there's some sacrifices you have to make, and sometimes you gotta do everything for the good of everybody else. I understand people were like, I can't do this, I can't do that, but the fact is something's going on. We don't know what to do, so sometimes we have to make a sacrifice. But the problem in America, everybody wants things now like this and that. And I have friends might say, we're gonna go back to things. No, you can never go back to things as they were before. You have to adjust to the new normal, the new lifestyle. Like I know with your clients, you do a lot of online stuff, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
A lot of online, a little bit in person, but mostly online.
Because that's the thing is like this thing was here. How I do interviews is through StreamYard. That's kind of like Zoom, And it's a new thing now because you get to talk to people. It's like better than run up a phone bill, or But it's a good way to talk to people and get connected. And like I said, I enjoy doing these interviews, talk to you ladies, get to know you, and share your stories with people that you might inspire somebody to get a sport. You might inspire this guy right here, my man KL the Wonder. He says, I'm a leg man and quads. Yeah, okay. I don't know if he's talking about what he likes as a woman, or that's what he trains. Details, brothers, details, please. Oh, I think he says tattoos all right. It's just where you place them at. Okay, yeah, that's we talk about that. But as a competitor, and you've been with me for a good bit, and what do you think you feel that can be necessary to really help bodybuilding get along, to grow the opportunities for yourself?
I just think like just having a longer off season. So I think that's what we're gonna actually try to do a little bit this year. The past 2 years, I've had about 8 months of an off season with 4 months of prep, and I've put about 6 to 8 pounds of muscle on. So I think if we push it to at least a year before even looking at prep, that'll definitely help, because it takes 6 months to mature the muscle. So, at 6 months, whatever I built right after the show is what's going to stay, and so, the closer you get, the more you're chopping down. So to have that year, it kind of gives me 6 months of solid muscle building that has matured, and then keep rolling through it. So just that longer off season, I think, is what is really going to make the most changes.
So you're just going to take a long off season, and probably maybe there's a show in New Jersey, the NPC universe, and that might be within your wheelhouse, unless you want to go back to Pittsburgh again. Or there's a show called the Mr. National. It's a bodybuilding pro qualifier. It was the same week as the Team Collision show. I knew somebody else talking to say they wish they'd done that show, because there's only one girl and she got her pro card. And all you have to do is compete in a class, lightweight, middleweight, or heavyweight. You win your class, you get your pro card automatically. All you do is just compete in the overall, and you just compete for opportunity to compete at the Rising Phoenix. That's it. But I know the logistics, the cost from going to Chicago, all that, but it's always a good opportunity, because like I said again, you don't have to compete in that division.
Right.
It's just some place you can probably go to the next level to get you there. Right here we have my man John Doe. He says, Shannon, do you have any advice for anyone wanting to get into bodybuilding? What would you tell somebody like yourself who has a passion and want to get into it?
Food is fuel. That's what I always tell people. You have to eat, and you have to not. If you want to get into bodybuilding, you have to not be afraid to gain weight. Too many people want to stay lean in their off seasons. Too many people just don't want to lose the shreds. And the truth of the matter is you have to. if you want to be successful in this sport, you have to eat, and a healthy, clean diet, not cheeseburgers every day and fries. And, I ate so much chicken and rice in the last off season. It was coming out of my eyes and ears.
You're always
But
pasta.
right. But and I always tell people too that are getting into it, hire a coach. Don't try to do it yourself, because you're going to need that person looking at you. You're going to need that person that can advise you, that can guide you through it better, and take your time finding a coach. Make sure you find the right coach. Is online good for you? Is in person good for you? That's one thing I love about my coach is, I have an opportunity to train with him every day if I can, because we train as a team every morning. Or, I can be like, hey, send me some workouts, or I'll write my own workouts and be like, hey, what do you think of these workouts? But I always tell people, if you want to get into bodybuilding, find yourself a coach, and find yourself a reputable coach that's not going to cookie cutter you, that's going to, listen to what you want to do and what your goals are, and realize what your body type is and where you would fit in the bodybuilding industry. Because there's just, everybody's built differently. So some people might be like, oh, I'm bodybuilding, and come up in your physique. So, and it's easier to have that person that I know you're paying them, but if you're serious and that's what you want to do, it's easier to have that person to help guide you through it, and tell you what to eat, what to do, and just get you in that prep.
And like the great Ronnie Coleman says, everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but nobody want to lift that heavy ass weight. I mean,
Nope.
It's a process, because like I said, I used to be like, I keep saying this because this is where really you ladies inspired me, because after my mom passed, I had no one to take care of myself. And I started to, do little stuff like work out at home. Then I was going to Planet Fitness. I need to go back because I had a little setback a while back. So I need to get back into it. And finding that routine, that consistency, it's tough, especially when you're still tempted, like, especially get up in the morning, like, oh, my bed, my lovely bed. It is just so soft and gracious. It's my lover. I can never leave her. But then you have to get up, because you know what? If you want to go to Olympia, you have to leave that bed behind. If you want to mix that big stage, you can't eat hey, you be on the job. Your partner might say, hey, I got a cheese dog. Nah, I'm having this keto chicken and a little rice. It's about the process. And if you understand the process, it's just easy. But some people, just don't figure it out. And then also, yes, your coach will tell you something too, but sometimes you have to make decisions what's best for you also. And you need somebody. I know some ladies who have worked with a coach, didn't work out, move to another coach. Sometimes you just got to find that person that works and fit for you. It's like trying on a nice pair of shoes. You find that right pair of shoes, you stick with it for the rest of your life. Sometimes I get a pair of shoes, I always buy the same shoes, because the fact is I like the pair, I like how they fit me, and they feel good. But so eventually, it's about finding yourself and what works for you best. And like I said, what might work for you might not work for the other person. And you just can't use a cookie cutter plan, because I've talked to ladies that sometimes somebody uses the same cookie cutter plan and use it for another person. Even that works, especially if you're the smaller side, you're a little leaner side, and some girls might be a little bigger, a little thicker. It's just about finding what works really for you more than anybody.
Correct. And I do love how you said understand the process versus trust the process. Because a lot of people are just like, trust the process. And if they're like me, I'd be like, if I don't understand it or know it, how can I trust it? So I always tell people, learn the process, understand the process, be the process before you can trust the process. Because if you're just blind trusting the process, the whole time you're going to doubt it and you can mess it all up. But if you're taking time to understand why this is happening to this, and when, you cut my calories and doubled my cardio and I gained 3 pounds, why did I gain 3 pounds? You have to understand that your body's fighting itself, so it's just, people need to learn to understand the process. And I love that you said that instead of trust the process.
Thank you, Padawan. Be one with the force. And that's, like I said, one of my favorite movies, and KL, he can test to, because I keep quoting, because I love quoting it, is Batman Begins, when Liam Neeson is Ra's al Ghul. Actually, Henry Ra's al Ghul says to Bruce Wayne, "Be aware, surrounds all time, Master Wayne. Never give us your footing for a killing blow." It's just, and that's the thing, is you have to be aware, and understand how these things work. Your body's going to react to certain things. Like when I was losing weight, I had my family friends tell me, "Man, Joe, you look small. You look smaller." Because I didn't completely stop eating certain things. I just try to eat less of it. And and especially I have a heart condition. I gotta be careful. I'm diabetic also. I gotta it's in my family. I think it's just trying to find what works for me. And then, like I said, I'm not trying to be a bodybuilder. I just try to be somebody trying to eat a little healthy. But still, the other day I had some ribs and taters and just. But I did. Next day I had some broccoli and chicken. But it's just
Balance.
about it's about finding balance and what works for you. So, folks, we're not going to hold up too long for with Shannon. We appreciate her time she's put in with us. That's I got Neva over here, and we appreciate her and respect her commitment, and also respect her service as an officer of the law. She's 12, so but we respect that because we may not with the quiet things going on. Some of it's mostly with people who don't understand what's going on, but also sometimes it's people within your community as a police officer who don't respect the rights and the liberties of other human beings because we live in this world together. Just because you have a badge, you have authority, doesn't mean that you're better than anybody else. It just means that you are a servant of the people, and as a servant of people, you should respect the wishes of the people. If the people go a certain way, you got to respect it. If you don't like it, that's you can do another job. But things are changing, and you can't. If not really change, adapt to it. It's not a job for you anymore. We got here. I got a request, and I usually don't let He just want to ask because he's looking. Uh, this is he says, Shannon, can you get one flex for before you go? I don't know if she wants to. That's up to her.
You want me
I
to
don't.
flex? I can flex.
If you want to flex, because I don't usually force it in the back. I know you're lazy and flexing and working out all the time. You get tired. People say,
I
"Hey,
flex all the time.
yeah, flex all the time. You get tired." There you go. She's doing a typical front double with open hands, the girly style. Yeah, and and you got that, guys. Okay, guys, now you put your lotion in your toilet tissue now. Okay, all right. I know that's why you want to see it. But you want go to it if you want. Go to social media if you want to check out her pictures, check out her videos. Follow us on our platforms. Also, she's a coach and trainer. And also you have a sponsor. Like, so you do everything on your own. You have a sponsor.
I don't.
So this is what we will say to somebody. If I know there's guys out there, you guys who spend money on sessions like that, you can put some of that money towards sponsoring Shannon. Like a little something to help her out along the way in her process. If you see her, like if she's out there, she's out on the job, because the job they pay for your gas when you drive your car. But if she's driving her car, you say, ask her first, is this your car? Is it undercover? If she's gonna put gas in her own car, hey, say, you know what, man, I want to pay for your gas. That's a little something to help you out. If you're a grocer and you want to say, you know what, Shannon, I want to sponsor your next competition. So let's sign a contract. Come in here. You can do like little sell advertising like that, something like that. Those little things that help the process for these men and women sport of bodybuilding. Bodybuilding is not it's a expensive hobby sport. And back in the day, it's not as mainstream as other sports. Like, you're in Baltimore, you're at the Ravens, big football team. I used to remember bodybuilding used to be on television. You used to catch it on ESPN. But, you only catch it on online live streams. I know I might be doing a thing where I might do a live stream critique of the upcoming Tampa Bay Pro. Yeah, I wish, wish her the best of luck at that show. But, no, she's not doing that show. She's doing the show in Pittsburgh. Yeah. I'm thinking somebody else is doing Tampa Bay. It's but you know what? If you're someone genuinely interested in sponsoring Detective Leister, reach out in genuine interest. Don't be that weird guy who say, hey, Shannon, I saw your videos. I saw your flexing. You get your little short, little tiny little thing. Yeah. You can eat my Tinkerbell. No, guys, stop it. And also, she's a cop, man. You crazy. You're crazy. You're crazy. You got push up on Twitter. Hey, I know some guys told me how this guy's in New York. If you're a fine looking cop, they still push up on you.
Oh yeah. Oh. I've gotten so many marriage requests. Just standing on the corner, like, hey, can you come home with me? I'm like, no.
Those are the guys that are really lonely. That's like, but you are
I
cute woman. You
mean,
are attractive woman, and and for the other guy, he would say this: "You are beautiful." And I'm not a fan of police. I'm a particular type of criminal. But Shannon, I think you can handcuff me anytime you want. Just I like anarchy and chaos. I got you, Kale. I got away around it, Kale. I know he's a hater. I know I think he made a comment right now. I saw him make a comment. Where's the Kale? Yeah, it says he says documentary could be 30 minutes. Okay, and it says it said George, do a documentary on her. He said, oh, there's people better at doing that than I am. That's a lot of work. But yeah, you'll be a perfect person to do a documentary on. I got a friend. She's from IB Pro. Her name is the Tisha Tax Thomas. She's a documentary called I Am the Tigress. I know you probably heard of it. She lives in Germany right now. Great documentary, and people need to like one of the biggest documentaries all time is Pumping Iron. There's Pumping Iron 2. There's a documentary about American Gladiators. That was a sport that really got attention for bodybuilding, especially for bodybuilding in general, and even the women. But yeah, I think you have a great story. 30 minutes. Yeah, you could. It takes a while to do documentaries, man. I don't have the time. I have the time, but that's a lot of work, and I'm not investing that much work in it. You have money. I don't have money like that. I'm broke. I'm waiting for my first of the month check. I gotta get my car fixed. I wanted to go to Atlanta because I know somebody said, "Hey George, you coming to Atlanta, George?" Because they told me to ask you, "You come to Atlanta, George?" Because we're gonna compete that show. I said, I would love to, but I had to get my car fixed early this year, and that ate up my money, and I couldn't. I wanted to go. It'd been great to go. Maybe I get to meet you there if I went, but we're not gonna hold it much longer. She's a busy lady. We thank you for her time. I appreciate it. And as I said again, as a competitor, competing in the sport, in the amateur especially, what would you like to see change in your mindset?
honestly, I'd like to see more interest in it. Because that's the one thing I do love about the region or the national level of it is, when you step on stage with women physique, my one class was 11, the other class was 8. When I did the regional level, there was 3. It's just, I think just seeing more people, wanting to do it and figuring out how more people can do it because, you hear people say it all the time, oh, I'd love to do it. But, I think that's the biggest thing that I'd love to see changing it is just, back to the way it used to be. The Maryland show that we did on July 1st, I mean, we had a packed house. And I haven't seen a show packed like that since I first started competing. It was, you couldn't park in the parking lot and it was out of school, in the middle of the summer. So it wasn't like there was extra cars there. You couldn't park in the parking lot. There was no parking spaces left. There was no seats left. It was so hot in there because there were so many people and just, it was a very successful show and it was awesome, and it just, gave you that pride of being part of it. So just kind of seeing it coming back to that where people are more interested in it, and it just becoming, I guess, more competitive.
I think the thing is, I was talking with one lady. She showed me how the thing is the problem is it's not so much from the higher ends, us fans, because we want more and more and more. But as the fans, it's us who keep the shows going. I understand they want to, fit criteria or critique of what they want. But as the sport is developing and changing, there should be more. I would say a certain set guidelines. How if you feel like the women are getting too big in this division, that division, set the guidelines. Don't keep changing from one show to another. When you see a show like I was talking with the Pittsburgh Pro, where you have seen like somebody Natalie Quayle or Amy Sherbert, how they are looking a lot more bigger. I mean, there's even people like my man says like, could Natalie beat Andrea? No, but she's getting to the point where she's getting bigger. You know, if you don't kind of like say, let's put a cap
right
on what's going to fit. Like even if you look at the figure divisions, you know how there should be a cap. Maybe you know if you look at with bodybuilding, there's no point of capping because that's the ceiling. Hit the ceiling in that division, but physique and the other divisions where they're more transition divisions for competitors, I think there should be more guidelines set, and I think it will help if they have more control. But like I said, people still like like AJ from Female Body. Shout out to AJ, says the big freaky chicks. They still and it's still like the particular certain look, and there's still some women that have great body muscle and very attractive. But yes, there's some women who are going to look a little bit, they got a voice like Vin Diesel, saying like 500, just be a yard or a mile, family, but it's all about that competitive quality, what sacrifices they want to make. And if you want to make those sacrifices, that's up to you. If you don't want to, that's up to you also. But I think more thing is that it's the higher ups. They're more concerned. If you want the sport to survive, really invest into the athletes. There should be more. As a police officer, you have benefits. When you retire, you have a nice pension. You live off of that. I got a friend. We're doing a live stream tomorrow. He's an ex-football player. He used to play in the league. He played in the league for like 7 years. He used to be a professional bodybuilder. He retired last year, medical problems and stuff like this going on. He still gets a pension from the league, from all the years he worked in it. And I think one thing, when we hit that pro card, it should have to pay $200 or $300 a month, a year for a card, where you don't really get much out of it. Just say, now you can say, hey, I'm an IP pro. That helps you more, probably get more clients, because that's like it gets you licensed and bonded. But it should be more benefits to being a competitor. One thing, if they could get big name sponsors, like if you watch UFC, MMA, they get sponsors like Reebok, sponsors from this guy. If you can, you don't need a lot of. You just need a couple of two big name sponsors, something like maybe Coke, or Pepsi. They make like Propel, a shoe sponsor. If they could bring in money in there, it's enough where they can disperse them among everybody else. Enough where, okay, if you're not competing, then you get a little benefits or something. You get a little per diem, something like that. It helps you out along the way. Benefits, discounts, something like that, where it could come, we can maybe save a little money in your pocket. So when you don't have to say, I got to put gas in my car, I put whey powder. You got to make a choice. But, there's a lot of sacrifice to this sport. And that's why I love talking to ladies like yourself who have a passion for it. I know, like I said, I got guys say, yo, we're talking to this girl. I would love to talk to the topic, but I love talking to someone like you and sharing your story. Because you know what? You're a person, you're like an everyday person that can inspire somebody. Inspire somebody right now who's watching this video saying, you know what? I could be like her. Because all it takes is just me going to the gym, finding the right coach, follow a diet, working out. I could be a bodybuilder. But you have to have that same passion and determination for the sport. This is from my man, Rolando G. He says, I really like Tink's, Shannon's physique. Really like the tattoos. You got a fan. And
Thank
also,
you.
this is from Mikhail. Shannon, do you do diuretics? Well, that's the fact that people can forget that. That's one of the small factors of the bodybuilding. It's not a big factor. It's a very small factor.
Very small.
But you can't look as big and grainy if you don't, use something to help you. Because, if you're natural, that's one thing. But you can't be big around me or high shopping if you don't use something to help you out. So, and we have one for Caleb before we head out. He says, yeah, keep doing the training, George. I see some improvements, not a whole lot, but they are changes. I don't care. Those little improvements is better. I'm not trying to be, Superman. I'm just happy being me, and you happy being you, Shannon, and
Absolutely.
But it is a tough process, and and you trust it and you study it and understand it and know what you're getting into, you can do fine. But if you don't, you just go into it blindly and not understanding what's involved in it, you're gonna fall. You're gonna fall. And as I say as Thomas Wayne said to his son Bruce, said, "Why do we fall, Bruce? Can we learn to pick ourselves up?" So we're not gonna hold you much longer, man. We thank you for your time. We appreciate you. We wish you best of luck next year. You could still try. There's a North Americans. There's the
I'm enjoying eating right now
you
and sleeping.
Eating. You should do that. Enjoy yourself. This sport's gonna be here as long as it's gonna be here. Next year is gonna be good. There's plenty of shows. Also, if it still have that show, the Miss International, keep that in the back pocket. You can compete as a bodybuilder, get your pro card, and do as you want to after that. That's just something it's something that old commercial. The more you know, the more you grow.
Right.
Yeah, that's how it works. Folks. So anyway, folks, I thank my man KL, the Wanderer, Rolando G for dropping through, Panther 7, John Doe, my boy Roy coming through here. All you who watched this video, Curtis Jr., thank you for supporting, to follow the lovely officer Leister on her social media platforms. Support her. It says this, if you're someone out there who is interested in sponsoring a competitive bodybuilder, be it at pro level, be it amateur level, if you have the means and the ways, show interest. Reach out in genuine interest. Don't be that weird guy who's saying like, you got a pretty body. She's a police officer. She's not going to do that shit. But this is also, I tell you guys out there, and if she deals with sex crimes, do not send D pics, because that is sexual harassment.
Please don't send them.
Don't stop it. I know she's cute, Tinky, has a little cute shirt, blonde hair. She got her triceps out. She's buff. Stop it, guys. Have some respect for yourself and respect for her. She's a lady. And also she's a cop. So folks, thank you for coming through. This is going to be my last interview for this month. I enjoy doing this content. Got a new month coming up. Can't believe it's August. The dog days, they call it. The dog days. And my mom was always saying, it's the dog days. That's when it's hottest. Like, yeah. But folks, I thank y'all coming through. Support Shannon in her process. We hope to see her next year. Maybe next year will be the year she finally turned pro. Judges she has a great back. I don't know what you're looking at. I'm not a fan. I'm not an expert. I'm a fan. But if you're interested, like I said again, support Shannon, follow her social media, support her. If you see her out and about, over be more, show some respect to her, and just realize this is a tough sport, and they deserve all the respect and the privileges they should get out of it. So we appreciate your time. Thank you, ma'am. Good luck to you. And
thank you for having me.
Well, one of my favorite quotes again is from Batman Begins. When Jim Gordon, Sergeant Jim Gordon of the Gotham PD, said to Batman, said, "I forgot to thank you." And he turned around to Jim Gordon and says, "You never have to." That's a great quote. It's so cool. I like it. I'm good with movies and stuff like that. Yeah. But anyway, folks, appreciate you coming through. Thank you for coming. Follow Shannon in her social media description. Reach out to enjoy your interest. And thank you for being fans, and good luck to you all. And we really appreciate you. Thank you from the man KL. He says, nice double buy. Yeah, we already got that. We saw it. And this is for one more from this is from John Doe. I'm going for phenomenal physique, Shannon. You're a top tier bodybuilder. Keep up the good and hard work. I'll be rooting for you. And one more from Panther 7. Good luck, Shannon, on your pro card. You deserve it. And thank you, George, for always bringing us the amazing content. Thank you, brother. Appreciate that. And like I said, you got some fans here, like the episode of Chappelle's show when Charlie Murphy met Prince, and he was hanging out with the guy Nikki Free from Shalimar, and said, "Shalimar got a new girl. She finds a motherfucker." Yeah. That's how when I get a girl out here, say George got a new girl. She found a motherfucker. They get excited. But folks, thank you for coming through. Support these ladies in sport of bodybuilding. Support all men and women sport of bodybuilding. Show respect. This is a tough sport. Like I said, like Ronnie Coleman said, everybody wants to be a bodybuilder, but no one wants to lift this heavy ass weight. So thank you for coming through. This is your man all the way, George Page, aka the Emperor of Female Bodybuilding Talk. Don't like, subscribe. I am out. Have a good rest of your week.